Hello and what is up, guys? Rye here and welcome back to some more automation and of course BeamNG.Drive. So what if I told you that this car in front of us could do over 500 kilometers an hour in BeamNG? I mean, it sounds pretty insane, right? This car could do 500 kilometers an hour with only 940 or so horsepower with a 3-liter turbocharged straight 6. I mean, sure, it's crazy light. I've got plus 15 quality in every single part possible. And the body itself is a mod body, which has 0.06 coefficient of drag, which is lower than any production car by far, so it's got crazy low drag. Now you might be starting to think that, yeah, that's super easy to get, obviously, with such a low drag coefficient body, with quality spamming everything and stuff like that. Obviously, it's super easy to get that. But what if I told you I could also get 500 kilometers an hour out of this tractor body? Yes, this is a tractor mod body. Both these bodies actually were made by Filament 86. This body is a different body. Obviously, it's plus 15 quality, still all that jazz. It weighs 1,500 pounds, but its coefficient of drag is 1.1, which is absolutely terrible, and there's no way that this car should hit 500 kilometers an hour. Now, you might still be thinking, but these are mod bodies in automation. There's no way that you could do this with a stock automation body, right? Right? Well, you're kind of wrong again. So here we are with another body. This is a stock automation body. Completely stock. I didn't even modify like the molding or anything. I could probably improve the top speed, but I'm not gonna because it doesn't matter. These tires are absolutely tiny. It's got the same wide body stance as the tractor we just had, so it's a little bit wider because I wanted to make it a little wider, so a little more stable. But even if it wasn't wider, it could still hit 500 kilometers an hour. But this is a stock automation body with a coefficient of drag of 0.28, which is, you know, it's an okay coefficient of drag. It's got tiny tires, but it still hits 500 kilometers an hour. Now, why is it so easy to hit 500 kilometers an hour, or any high speed for that matter, in automation? It's because automation's broken. You see, cars can get crazy high top speeds, even with crazy high drag coefficients and crazy low amounts of power. I'm not exactly sure what's broken, but something's definitely not right. I actually did a test build with the very first body, and I hit 350 kilometers an hour with only 300 horsepower. Which is absolutely insane. It's not realistic at all. I mean, neither is anything about this vehicle in front of us, but we can still hit an estimated top speed of 490 kilometers an hour, which is just shy of 500 kilometers an hour. I could probably make it go faster, but I didn't even tune anything. I didn't tune anything with this body. I think it's still got 5 seats. It's got 7 seats. It's got 7 seats, and we still hit 500. I didn't even check that. So what we're going to do today is design our own hypercar with the goal of breaking the land speed record. It's going to be hopefully over 300 miles an hour of top speed in a realistic-ish hypercar form factor. Okay, so we've got this body in front of us. This is a McLaren body. I think it's like a 720S style body or a 5. It's a McLaren body. It's a stock automation body in the game. It's got a pretty low coefficient of drag, 0.32, which isn't crazy low. So I think the fastest car in the world has a drag coefficient of 0.28, which is the SSC Tuatara, which is like 280 miles an hour top speed. So it's, you know, lower than what we have currently in this car, but that's not gonna matter. So carbon fiber panel material, let's go for a monocoque chassis. Now this car has to be very light. It's gonna be a supercar, obviously, but focusing on a land speed record. The goal here is to shoot for like over 500 kilometers an hour, which is what, 300 or so miles an hour. So we're going to shoot for over that even. Carbon fiber chassis material. It's going to be a mid-mounted longitudinal engine with what, double wishbone front and double wishbone rear. Maybe we can go push rod. We'll go plus 5 quality. Now, I want to make this thing a somewhat a realistic price. It's going to be in the $2 million range probably, but it's still going to be faster than every single car before it by far. V8, twin turbo V8. That sounds like very McLaren-esque. It's going to be what, a 3.2 liter V8 twin turbo. Sounds perfectly fine. Let's go for what, like just the best of the best here. Let's go for what, plus 5 quality on pretty much everything to increase the price, because this is going to be like a $2 million car. So a twin turbocharged, we'll go for a twin turbocharged, smart boost, all the best of the best basically in this thing. Direct injection. Let's give it per cylinder and a performance high intake. Let's give it what? Super fuel. Let's just give it super fuel. Yeah, super fuel sounds fine. And they've got new headers for now we have in the game. Let's go for what? Like that. So right now, without any tuning, we've got a 500 horsepower, which is fine. Let's increase this a little bit. Let's get the top end. Let's get a little bit stiffer on the springs. So it kicks in around 3,000 RPM now, makes 808 horsepower, so it's got like Dodge Demon levels of power, which I think is enough here, and 536 pound-feet of torque. So rear-wheel drive, a 7-speed dual clutch, top speed is around 400 kilometers an hour so far. It's gonna get up there. Semi-slicks, let's go for 335s. In the rear, we do need to go for flow optimized and a higher quality in that. That's not gonna cost us crazy amounts. The budget's still in the millions of dollars for this car, so it's not, you know, crazy. Let's go to 2-seater. Let's go for a sport interior. And a heads-up display. Power steering. We need traction control, launch control, all that jazz. Let's go for worse safety. We can save some weight there. And let's go for suspension. I just want a normal suspension. It's going to be, you know, it doesn't need to have, you know, it can have fancy suspension, but it doesn't actually do anything. So 2,600 pounds, which is incredibly light. The car costs $300,000. So we got a lot of budget left. And its top speed now is 517 kilometers an hour. And we're not even done. We are not even done. The tires blow. Yeah, that's fine. So in the other car, we had 900 horsepower, and we can get to 500 kilometers an hour. We've got 800 now, and it still says about the same. So I think we can for sure, like, even, you know, get that or pass that with this car, as long as it doesn't overheat, which I think will be fine. So I think the basics are pretty much done. The car can do over 515 kilometers an hour, so it does exactly what we want, 520. I'm gonna tune like a second version of this car with like quality spam, and I just want to see like flat out what we can get for top speed. But I want to make like a realistic version. Like this is a realistic-ish hypercar. So I'm gonna design it in a time lapse, and then we will hop into BeamNG and see how it drives. So sit back, relax, guys, and of course, I hope you enjoy. So we're starting the build for our McLaren 720S styled body car. It's going to be a Magnus branded vehicle, which is my Swedish hypercar brand. It's going to have the traditional signature Magnus face with the sort of P-shaped headlights / daytime running light setup kind of thing going on at the front end. It's going to have this sort of bulge that goes down into the grille in the middle of the main grille of the car. Obviously, this car is going to be mid-engine, but it's still going to have a big grille for all your extra cooling needs and all that jazz. So what we're doing is making the front end, adding a sort of bar in the middle to make the front end look kind of nice. I'm using all 3D fixtures, or no, using all custom fixtures to make our front end grille and headlights this time. With the newest update, mods have finally pretty much showed up. Adding a big old vent to the side, which I sort of tweak with, and I'll add and touch up later. Building the inside of the headlights now because the main grille is pretty much already done. Adding a big roof scoop on the side, and now working on the actual headlights itself, adding the daytime running lights as well as the projector LED beam. At the back, I had a huge spoiler, which I make a bit smaller later. I just sort of tacked on there for now, tweaking some side skirts on the car, the spacing of the wheels a bit farther, adding a little bit of some front lips on the front of the car. Now on the side, still, we've changed the tires. I'm adding our own sort of fake disc brakes because the discs aren't really loading in right now, so it's like a bug that the game's having, so I decided to make my own basically, just to look a little nicer there. The back end, so what I do is cut out the entire back end, and it took me quite a while to pretty much figure out what I wanted to do. So what I started off was sort of making these sort of lines going on the edge of the vehicle, and I decided to get rid of that and sort of segregate the back end into a similar P-shaped sort of style taillight, similar to the front end of the car, but in the back, obviously. And I do this whole design in the back, and I just end up thinking it looks kind of weird, and I just couldn't figure out how to do the middle, basically. So I sort of sit there for a second, playing with some designs and stuff, and I go ahead and just delete the upper half of the rear, and restart the entire top end of the rear of the car, building these sort of intakes on the side there, license plate still in the same spot, the rear diffuser still in the same spot, but the upper area has been changed to a LED strip, which I think I do change as well, pretty much making the taillight housing a bit better. I add this sort of indentation in the bottom, where the badging and stuff's gonna go, and I change the taillights so they're sort of like going and angling into this sort of almost like a wide V-shaped design in the middle where it's going to have the emblems and stuff like that. The exhaust, I played with the idea of having the exhaust up top, but I took them and put them down below instead because I thought they looked a bit better. Adding the badge to the car, adding some Concept S badging as well, using the custom text editor that they have now, changing the wheels and stuff, and tuning the car, and just doing a bit of tweaks to the engine, transmission, all that stuff, making a higher performance version, and just changing the other high performance version to blue just so I have two different versions of the car. And in front of us is the 2020 Magnus Fravana Concept S. Okay, guys, so like I said, this is the 2020 Magnus Fervana, which is Swedish for amaze or amazing. This is the most amazing car. It's a concept car. This is the Fervana Concept S by Magnus. It is a concept top speed hypercar with a giant wing, though. The wing is probably not going to be good for the top speed model, but it's there for style. This is a concept car. I've made two different trims of this car, two different variations. One is a full-out production car, and this one's a sort of designed concept car with the wing. So, design, it's got some similar design to my previous Magnus cars with these sort of P-shaped headlights, these big sort of triangles with these lines going down on the sides. The front end's kind of glitching out actually right there, but we're going to ignore that for now. Pretend like that little bit's not there. Anyways, the front comes to this sort of nose at the front with these areas sort of jutting into it. It's a little bit glitchy right now, but again, it's fine. It's fine. In the back, it's different from all my other Magnus vehicles. It's got these sort of just two very small taillights, brake lights, turn signals, all that stuff broken into one. A Fervana badge in the middle, and we have the Swedish flag sort of there as well. The Concept S badging to let you guys know that this is indeed a concept car, and it's not the real production car. And a massive diffuser with dual exhaust that actually, the mufflers actually pretty much touch the ground. But this is a concept car. We got massive wheels. I think they're 20s in the front, no, 21s in the front and 22s in the rear. 395s in the rear, 275s in the front. This car costs a very reasonable $1.76 million. It is not comfortable, which makes sense because I don't know how comfortable you could be going 505 in this model. So 505 kilometers an hour in this trim. And I made another trim right here, the Concept S Plus, which is the same car without the giant wing, actually tuned up to plus 15 quality. So this thing has plus 15 quality and pretty much everything that actually matters. This car costs only $2 million. This is maybe the full production model, costing $2 million. No wing, and it looks the exact same besides like just the wing change basically. So just no wing versus wing. And this thing can do slightly more. It can do 517 kilometers an hour, which is the fastest production car ever. I think the current fastest car is the SSC Tuatara at 277 miles an hour. That was the confirmed record. Bugatti never got it. And I think ours definitely beats that by a good bit. So we'll hop into BeamNG.Drive. I'll see you guys there. So I loaded the car into BeamNG and everything is perfectly fine, except I just want to show you guys the front. Look at that. It did not export properly. The exporter did not work properly. It is the most depressing looking front end I've ever seen on a car. It looks so stupid. I'm going to re-export the car because what is this? So we're in BeamNG.Drive now. The car actually works. The car actually looks okay. It doesn't look stupid or broken anymore. This is the Fervana Concept S. This is not the S Plus. This is the one with the wings. So in theory, it should be slower. But I'm going to show you that it's not necessarily true. Even though it does have a wing. In automation, there is downforce, obviously, but in BeamNG, downforce works a bit differently than in automation. So basically, as long as the wing's there, depending on how the wing is placed, it creates downforce, creates drag. Whereas in automation, it's basically numbers on a spreadsheet telling you that there will be drag. But in reality, that's not how it works in BeamNG. So anyways, we're here. This is just the open grid map. This car's got 810 or so horsepower. This is the non-crazy quality spam version, costing about $1.7 million. We're going to go for the top speed run. Now, this thing was said it can do 506 kilometers an hour top speed. I think the gearing goes a bit higher than that, but the car said it can do about that much. So let's just try here. So far, seems crazy stable. 340, 350, 360 kilometers an hour, which is pretty quick. The record to beat is 277 miles an hour, which is what, 400 and some odd kilometers an hour. I'll check it out after the actual run itself to see if we actually beat it, because I'm pretty sure we're going to beat it. I'm pretty sure 500 kilometers an hour is like 300 miles an hour plus, so we're fine. 517, which is the top speed of the other car, actually. Not of this car. Of the S Plus. 518 kilometers an hour. I think that's pretty much peaked. I think before I was banging 519, 518. So 518, we'll take that. We're going to brake now. The brake lights. Why are the brake lights? Oh, God, that's not good. Oh, we're good. Oh, we're losing brakes. We've lost all the brakes. Okay, yeah, I did not build this car to stop. But the taillights, what is this taillight? What is that? Why is that the taillights? Why isn't the red the taillights? I don't know. You know what? It's fine. Let's hop into the other one and just do a quick one with the other car. Oh, 517. Okay. Oh, crap. Are we good? This is fine? Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. The car is a little banged up. I'm not gonna lie. The car is a little banged up. Yeah, over here it's banged up. That is not how a wheel is supposed to look. So we got 515 kilometers an hour, and in testing, I've actually only been able to get to about 520 before this thing is uncontrollable, totally uncontrollable. So pretty much the exact same top speed as the one with the giant wings. So note to self, guys, always use a giant wing because you'll have the same top speed basically, as long as your wing's not too big, I guess. Anyway, so we got about 520 kilometers an hour, which is very, very, very fast. Yeah, so we hit about 323 miles an hour. About 320 miles an hour over. So yeah, that's faster than any car ever. So the current production record is the SST Tuatara, and that did 285 miles an hour. We hit over 320 miles an hour, around 320 miles an hour. So I think that's pretty good. This car costs almost $2 million, but we could have made it with in a cheaper car. What I want to do, though, is I want to hop into a track with the Concept S, which is the red one, which is the one with the wing. And I just want to see how it does on a track, maybe a drag. So I want to see the 0 to 60, actually, with, like, the actual real model, the concept model, and not this quality spam crazy model. So we're going to hop into, maybe we'll do a drag strip real quick, then we'll hop into a quick track test and finish off with that. So we're in West Coast, USA now. This is the drag strip. I want to see how it does. Now, this car has, what, 810 horsepower. It's rear-wheel drive, though. It's mid-engine. It's quite light. It's got good weight distribution, etc. So it should be pretty good. I honestly didn't even look at the 0 to 60 on this car. I actually have no idea. I just can't recall. Maybe I showed in the video. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. So I think here, yeah, on the top left, we'll have 0 to 60. And we'll see the top right are... Oh, pops a wheelie. We will see our quarter mile. 0 to 60 didn't actually work. Let's retry that. Let's retry that. I'm just in automatic mode now, not shifting manually. 1.7 to 100 kilometers an hour. That's quite quick. 1.6 probably to 60 miles an hour. Very, very quick. Finishing the quarter mile in 8.3. Well, that's got to be like the fastest production car to quarter mile, actually, or around that. Let's finish off, though, with a track test, and we'll sort of just hang out with that. Lastly, we're in the automation test track. I'm going to go to first person for this because I'm actually going to try here a little bit. So automation test track. Oh yeah, it's a little bit, it's not as grippy as the drag strip. I'll give it that. It's not as grippy. I got to be like mentally ready for this. We'll just start a little bit slower. Better really feather the throttle just a little bit more. Okay, so it understeers a little bit here in the corners. Now, I didn't actually set it up for track racing at all. It's just a top speed car. But if it can drive good to track, then that's nice as well. It sounds okay, though. The engine sounds quite good from up here. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit like I'm driving on ice, not gonna lie. But that's okay. We're gonna brake a little bit here. Oh, that's not good. Oh, are we good? We're good? Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Oh, that was a save, though. That was a save. I was counter-steering hard for that. We'll stay in second, just sort of coast to the corner a little bit. So, it feels like light on its feet, but there is, like... a distinct lack of downforce just in general, and lack of grip, and I think that's because of the lack of downforce. Because there is still not really a lot of downforce on this wing. It only really comes into play when you're going like, you know, 200 kilometers an hour or so. But no, the lower speeds here, it's absolutely insane. Stay in seconds. Gonna brake here. I think our brakes are going to give it a little bit, though. We're okay. We're okay. There's a wall. There's a wall. Yeah, that's how we're going to finish our lap. That was around, you know, high 150s, so like 155. We're going to finish that around anyways. And I'll take that. I'll take that. We're going to finish off the video here. I'll leave a download link below for the for this model, for not the crazy top-end model, just for this model, the one with the wing. If you guys want to download it, check it out. Link in the description. Also, join my Discord, which is also linked in the description. Crazy how everything is in the description. Just read the description, guys. It's got cool stuff in it if you're interested in that stuff. Before we finish off, though, I want to give a huge shout-out to my channel members. Now, these are people who have always went above and beyond to support the channel. You guys help me do this as pretty much my job, and I appreciate you guys. So huge shout out to my quad turbos. Thank you to Chellerson, DD Man, and The Undertaker. Thanks to my twin turbo members as well, and everyone else as well. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time.